Hi students, my name is Chris and I'm the IELTS expert. Today we have a great video for you because we're looking at recent exam topics and recent exam questions. It's February 2020 and these are some of the most common questions in part 1 of the speaking test. I'm here with my producer Fiona. Hi Fiona.
Hello.
And today Fiona has looked at some of the recent questions that you guys have submitted to us. Don't forget, if you like this video, click the like button and tell us if you've taken the test recently. You can leave any of the questions that you had during your test so that other students can be helped out by those. In this video, Fiona's going to ask me some questions. I don't know those questions, I don't know the topic, so I'm going to answer as naturally as possible. I'm going to write down so that you can see some of my ideas so that it can give you some helping hand in the future. Are you ready, Fiona?
I am, but I also want to let the students know that they might hear some typing from me because I'm going to be taking note of some of the more interesting things that you say.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go.
Okay, well today's topic, Chris, is running. So my first question is, do you run?
To be honest, I am really not a fan of running. I actually find it one of the most tedious things that anybody could do. I prefer doing sports which are creative or that maybe use my hand-eye coordination, such as tennis. I am really not a fan of running. What did you think, Fiona?
I thought that was good. I like that you used the term not a fan of.
Okay, so let's have a look at that. So, not a fan of. I'm not a fan of running. That's it's useful if you want to talk about something that you don't really enjoy. What else?
I like the word tedious.
Tedious. If you don't know, the word tedious means something that you find really boring. And personally, when I'm running, the only thing I can think about is how much pain I'm in and how much I want to get to the end. I really don't enjoy it at all. I really enjoy sports such as tennis. So in the exam, if you don't do what the examiner is asking about, you could talk about something honestly and talk about sports that you do enjoy. So you're not a fan of one thing, but you are a fan of something else. Are you a fan of running, Fiona?
No, I am not. I am terrible at it.
Okay, what about jogging? Because in the exam you could talk about jogging.
You can, and for me they mean fairly similar things, but when I think about running, I think it's a little bit faster than jogging.
Exactly, so jogging is a slightly slower form of running. You could talk about the word sprinting as well. So if you don't know the word sprinting, that means running really fast, and it's what athletes do. I'm not a sprinter. Are you? Do you like running? If you do, write something in the comments below about whether you like running or don't like running. And we could have a look at those and I'll give you some feedback. Should we have a look at another question?
Sure, and funnily enough, you've already answered a couple of the other questions I was going to ask you, so that's good. You've expanded on your answer very well.
Fantastic.
So my next question is, where do people usually run in your city?
Okay, so I live in a city and we have a river right in the centre of the city. So I do find that many people will spend an afternoon going for a run by the river. And there are also plenty of parks that people could run in. I know that there is an official event that happens every Saturday morning in my city and it's called Park Run, and it's an organised event where people go down on a Saturday morning about 9 o'clock and they all run together. So at Park Run it's like a community run. I don't do it, but I know hundreds of people that do. What about that answer, Fiona?
That was great. I was trying to listen out for your grammar there, and one of the sentences you said was, many people will spend an afternoon running by the river.
So, good. So this is a use of present simple, future actually, will spend. It's kind of conditional, and using the phrase running, it's using the gerund. So many people will spend an afternoon running. It's showing habit. You could just say many people spend an afternoon running. That's a possibility. But when you're talking about some habit, it's possible to use the word will there. It's an interesting form. Sometimes these grammatical forms are quite difficult to explain, and I don't know why we do it.
Well, that's why I picked it out, because it was a more unusual sort of sentence. What if you were telling a story in the past? What would you say? If talking about people running by the river.
Yeah, so if it was something that happened before, you would say they would spend it, and they don't do it now. So many people would spend time in the park running before they destroyed the park. So that would be a way to talk about something in the past. If it's simply in the past, it would just be spent. So you would need to know about the difference between irregular verbs. So spend, spent, spent. Let's write that down for you. So spend, spent, spent. Make sure you know about your irregular verbs. And if you're talking about running, make sure that you know all of the different forms of run, ran, and run. So those would be the irregular forms of the word run.
Excellent. Well, I've actually run out of questions on the topic of running, so I'm just going to make one up. Do you like watching running events on television?
Interestingly, I do enjoy watching running. So especially the shorter distances. So the sprints, the 100, 200 or the 400 metres. I'm not so into the long distance races because they can go on for maybe 20 minutes or half an hour. I really enjoy going to cheer people on when there's a marathon or a long distance run in the city. So I don't tend to watch that on TV, but I will make an effort to go out and watch people run if they're doing a race in the city, and I'll give them a cheer and a clap and a bit of encouragement as they're running. So I do find that's an interesting pastime of mine.
That was really good. So I noticed that you were talking about what you are into and what you're not into,
Okay.
what you tend to watch and what you don't tend to watch.
Good.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so if I'm into something, it means that I'm a fan of it and I really enjoy it. I talked about long distance and short distances, and again I used the word sprinting, and I like watching the 100 or the 200 races on TV, so I'm into those.
Brilliant.
Good.
Well, that's it for the topic running.
Fantastic. So in the exam, this is a recent question that the examiner has been asking. Remember, there are hundreds of different types of questions, but this is one particular type of question that has been appearing in January and February of this year. If you can think of any more ideas, write them in the comments below. Think about what you would say in these situations, and I'll be back with another topic in the future. See you soon.
Bye.